system is the Elwood system. And you can see it is a large methane, relatively unpleasant, with 4 billion people on it. This is how many resources it's generating every turn, and the types. So research, and so forth, so forth. Right-clicking on it gives us a pop-up of a whole bunch of information about it, more detailed. What races exist on the planet, how happy they are, how loyal they are. Anything that is under construction, there isn't anything. What facilities exist on the planet. And right now it has, let's see, 2, 3 mineral miners and a whole bunch of research centers. Plus a spaceport and a space yard facility. Cargo. It's going to have some supplies and ordnance. Those are effectively unlimited on a planet, or at least as long as there's something in the system that generates the cargo, the supplies and ordnance. And the planets don't actually use supplies or ordnance at all. They just generate them. And this abilities list will tell you basically everything about the planet itself, the sector that happens to be in, the system it happens to be in, and then the entire quadrant. So, there we go. Okay. Now for a quick rundown of what everything does. Menu brings up your save menu and a bunch of other things. It also allows you to get into the options, which is where you can control the music volume, finally, which is why it's now not nearly as loud as it was. There we go. A bunch of other things in there. I'm going to go over here. This is your next turn. Each one has a hover over it. The help menu basically tells you what individual things in the game do. It's not so much a help file as just, well, you go in and you look at, say, components, and I can look at the components that I have researched. Every component that I have researched. And, you know, bridges, these are all ship components. Cultural achievements, if I have any cultural achievements that I've achieved. Each one does a different specific thing. And we'll probably do some research on those. Damage types. Weapons, most weapons do normal. Most. But some weapons actually have special abilities that they do. And this is, if you want to know what those special abilities do, this is where you go. Experience types, how ships gain experience, what that experience means for them. So, the legendary ship is really quite impressive. Legendary fleets are even more so. A legendary fleet full of legendary ships is freaking scary. My facilities. All the facilities I've researched and what level they are. Space yards, temple space yards. Doesn't in and of itself build anything, but it does enhance my space yard capabilities. Formations that I can have. Various government types. You only have the one government that you currently have, but you can see what the other ones are. Intelligence achievements, I haven't researched any of those. Society types, again, same with the government types. You have one, you can't modify it. What technologies I can research, and what the next thing that I do in that research will get me. And also what it requires. Vehicle sizes, these are the vehicles that I can build. Right now, I actually do not have my temporal ships. I just have my regular ships. News is the log. If there was anything that had happened in the turn, then it'll show up here. Empire options. First and foremost, this is your treasury. Basic structure, minerals, organics, radioactives, and income, expenditures, net. All empires have some storage. This is how much you have actually in storage, and this is how much you're long as this number is positive, we're okay. Let's see, system display. I'm going to change a few minor things. Some people don't like to see the hex grid. I do. It makes it easy to figure out what I have in sight range and what I don't. But I don't need that. There we go. Now, from here we could go through and play with quadrant map, planet settings, warp transit order. These are kind of advanced settings. Basically, when you're sending a fleet or several ships through a warp point at once, how do they go through in the event that there's something on the other side to attack or to attack them? Same with resupply. It's advanced information, but if a ship needs to be resupplied while it's in space, what order, what priority does the resupply go to? And so on and so forth. Compare component, repair order, construction, move that to the top. The reason being is that if I have construction modules that are damaged, I want them to be repaired so that they can help repair the ship faster. Now, minister settings, you can basically use the ministers to allow you to macro manage almost everything. You can almost sit back and just let the game run itself if you turn all of the various ministers on. And you can control how they work to a certain extent. I typically don't do that. There we go. Now we've got everything want now. The quality of our planet is, these numbers here are multipliers off of the base. So here, facilities, and just choose one of these because they're all the same rate. The organics farm can collect 2,500 organics per turn. Great. Now you multiply that by the percentage of the planet it has to be on, 120%. That particular organic, any organics facilities, will gain 124% of that 2,500. So they're slightly more efficient on this planet than they would be on, say, this planet. This would make a terrible planet to make for a mining planet. It's just terrible. And the resources are just not there. Same with this one over here, which is actually going to be probably our first colonizing target. Tiny oxygen plant. Good. Okay. So that's the Empire view. This is the Empires, basically diplomacy. If you see any empires, you can set up, you can request messages with them, alliances, trade, a bunch of other things. And we go into here into comparisons, and oh my, we have a lot more than I thought we did. Okay, so 19 other races. Right now we are ranked second overall. And you can see we're all pretty much exactly the same because we all have 32 tech levels, all on one planet. We are first, so you know, everything we do is for us. Our victory condition is massive expansion, and there's no graphs yet because it's turn 1 and it's nothing doing. Who is it? That is the. I'm not even going to try to say that. Alright. Now, for the first several turns, this will basically just be in constant flux. But if we didn't have it, we could see all of them at the same time, then you wouldn't have that at all. Intelligence, we're going to skip over entirely because, well, I don't have any intelligence generation. On turn 1, you always end up with more research points than you actually generate per turn. This is because, well, turn 1 you're supposed to be getting a big boost, you're supposed to be doing stuff with it. So it's always a good idea, and it will, the game will warn you if you're trying to do, if you don't come in here and try to do research. most of these ones here, actually all of these right here, are theoreticals. They don't do anything, they just allow you to have more researches available. I do need physics, because shields are awesome, and temporal weapons are going to be good. If you use the shift key and you click on the plus minuses, you go up by 10. If you just click the plus minuses, you go up by 1. Or you can just click in the box somewhere and hope that you get something pretty close to what you need. I'm going to put 30% of our research towards physics. I could improve that. Acid weapons, bio weapons. I can improve my space yards. That first object in the... I can't move my mouse, otherwise it will move away, but the first object in the top left, expected results there, is a mobile space yard. So I can put that into a spaceship and basically construct things in space, like space stations. It's a very good way of putting a space station over a warp point, which makes a very good, strong defense. The better your space yard facilities are, the faster they build, but they also cost more. But they're also smaller in the mod, so it makes it a lot easier to put extra stuff on the planets. Repair bays, mobile repair bays, obviously. Freighters, light hull construction, I can improve. What systems was this? Oh yes, life support and crew quarters. Ionic engines, resupply. Storage is always good. Sword collectors. Sword collectors allow your ships to basically go much further for much longer. Need to improve armor. Let's see. I should have. Where is my temporal technologies? Could be. I know temporal weapons is underneath this. It could be my temporal technologies underneath there too. Okay. Well, let's... Medtech. That's always a good idea. Always a good idea. To put at least 10 or 15% towards just research. Because the more research you have, the faster you get more research. Storage, cargo base. Mounts, no. Still have 40% of my technology left. You know what? I'm just going to put it all, the rest of it into physics. It's not going to give me physics this turn. After all, even if I put 100% of it in, I would only have 57,000 points towards a total of 100,000. But it'll give me a big chunk on this first turn, which is what's important. Okay, now I could filter by applied science and such, but I'm going to filter by the research in progress. And there we go. Alright, so that takes care of our research. Now we're doing my construction queues. And there's a couple of bookkeeping things I like to do. One, I always like to be able to select multiple queues. Just because I can select multiple queues does not necessarily mean that I have to select multiple queues, though. I also like to create a custom layout. I don't actually need the queue picture. I just don't need it. I do need the queue name. I do want to know what the items under construction are and how long they have left to build. I do want to know if space available, and it has 18,000 left. 4,000 cargo space. So I can put some more stuff on here. A significant amount of stuff, in fact. Okay. So, because I am OCD, 3 of those. Because that'll round that up to a grand total of 20 research centers in this sector, on this one planet. If I'm not mistaken, it has a space yard, but it does not have a temporal space yard. I'm not going to be able to actually play. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to play. Not until it's a lot smaller than it is. Honestly, that, realistically speaking, that pretty much takes care of it. Because I have a resupply depot. I love repo depots are good because it generates some supplies and then it distributes them to everywhere in the solar system. Mod, these generate some supplies and they hold a certain amount of stuff, and they actually have the ability to scan out to a certain distance. As you get them a higher level, they do better at that. They distribute out to a limited distance. I'm not sure what the distance is. I think it's based upon the scan distance, or scan capabilities. And they also reduce the maintenance cost of any ships that are within a certain range. And the more of them you have, the higher your trade count. Once you actually find somebody to trade with. Okay. So, that's our construction queues. This looks at all the ships that you happen to have. I don't have any ships. This looks at all your colonies that you have. That just basically shows me the one colony. This is all the planets that I'm aware of. And I'm actually going to go in here. I'm going to put colonizable and empty. I know of 2 planets that I can colonize that are empty. Elwood 1 and Elwood 3 Alpha. Now, I can't really colonize them right now because I don't have a ship to send. So let's go ahead and design our first ship. Go into the ship's design section and create a ship. We want a colony ship. Maximum of 6 engines, keep note of that. And I need 100 crew, or a master 100 crew capability on both sets. So, alright, let's go into here. Okay, remember how I said each system has a different layout? This particular race, this is their layout for a colony ship. So, 3 internal across here, and then a set of internals across here. I personally like to put... It doesn't matter if it's upper, middle, or lower decks, because it really doesn't matter. The damage comes from, in order, shields, armor, outer, inner. So, a weapon would need to either have the ability to bypass shields, or there just not be any shields before it does any damage to armor. It has to be able to bypass any armor, or there not be any armor left, before it can do damage to outer hull sections. And then there have to be no armor, or it has to be a special type of weapon that bypasses no outer, or a weapon that bypasses outer or targets specific areas before it can do damage to inner. So inner sections are super that's for 150. This is for 50. This is a little overkill, but it's also 15, size 15. Now, with 2 of these, it's size 10. And that gives me enough people. And hey, look at that. So basic rule. something like 10 million population, which is more than enough to be able to colonize the planet. Alright, so we've got all that. Yeah, I could enhance it. I could throw some extra cargo bays on. Each cargo bay is basically half the size of one of the, or a quarter of the size, so it can add another couple million people. If I thought I was going to be sending these a very long distance, I could throw on some supply storage. One thing I no question about that, I need some engines, because engines make things go. Engines can only go in an outer section. This particular craft can only have 6 engines, so whatever. Alright, now, let's see. I could give it some weaponry. Let's see what we got. We got 50 more tonnage available. We've only got a supply capacity of 900 right now, so it can't go very far. Let's give it 1200, 1250, so that gives it just over 2000. 2000 would be probably enough to get anywhere within this sector and, or the system, probably 2 systems over without too much difficulty. So that's not too bad, because these are always going to have an actual target. Let's see. 30 more kilotons available. Defense cannons are good against if you have somebody that's too heavy. If you have somebody that shoots missiles at you, points defense system, it's work against those. Armor. Okay, we don't actually have shield technology yet, and this is never going to need to have sensors, so it's got some very, very light defenses. We're going to set its strategy to don't get hurt. Don't get hurt says run away. Run away all the time. Set design type. We're going to call it Colony Universal, just because we're going to call all of our colony ships Colony Universal. And set the design name, because we need a name. Now, we could choose one of these names off of the list, but honestly, why? When we just type in the fact that it is a rocket Bye.